It took me 8 minutes to finally go live with the proper camera. Sorry again for the delay, but it's totally random in this YouTube app. I have no control over it. Sometimes it works on the first try, like yesterday. Sometimes it takes me like 5 different tries, like today. It's totally random. So sorry for the inconvenience. So let me just get things set up. How's everyone doing today? All right, so we have one person joining us so far. Welcome. So today we're gonna continue the build from bag 16. Which is this bag right here, and I'll just get started right now. When more people come in, I might start to talk about the giveaway. Because I got a few questions about how that's gonna work. Yeah, before I start building, I'll just explain this is why you cannot use price per piece as a metric for determining the value of a Lego set. Look at this piece. This piece is massive compared to a regular stud. So if you say that like I want 10 cents price per piece, you're saying that this piece and this piece are going to cost exactly the same, which is ridiculous. So I do think it's fair for Lego to charge more for these large pieces, within reason, of course. Hello, Melvin 20 Roblox. I hope I'm saying your name right. Welcome to the live stream. This is a piece that I have not seen before. I don't know if it's a new piece or if it's just new to me. It looks interesting. It has a Technic axle connector here and then a uh, half lift arm here, or beam, depending on what you call it. So we could attach something like this to it. Apparently it does not have a lot of friction. I'm gonna make a guess that this goes here, even though it's pretty early in the process. Hello, Jude Wars. Thanks for returning. And Nick is asking who won the giveaway. The answer is that nobody has won yet. So because we're asking about the giveaway, I'll take some time to explain how it works. I'll bring this whiteboard just to give an explanation. Ignore the be right back part. But let's just say that we have, like, we're building this over 5 days at least, today being the 5th day. So you have day 1, day 2, day 3, and so on. Basically, each day there's going to be some people who comment in the live chat. Let's say, for example, on day 1, Bob made a comment, and I don't know if Bob actually exists, but let's say it's Jedi Bob. and my mom made a comment, my boss made a comment, and Bob made another comment. And on day 2, let's say Jack made a comment, and Jill, and mom again, etc., etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each commenter and just count them once. So Bob counts once, not twice. Same thing with everyone else. Then I'm going to remove people that are not eligible, like mom and the boss. Sorry, you cannot win the giveaway. That leaves us with Bob, Jack, and Jill, everyone who commented from day 1 all the way up until the last day. And then from these, I'm going to do a random selection where one person is going to be the number 1 prize winner, the other one is going to be number 2, and so on. There's going to be at least 3 prizes. So minimum 3 prizes, but there could be more depending on how well these live streams do. So if you share this with your friends, your family, your Discord server, your alternative accounts, then you maximize the chances of having better and better prizes. And of course, to actually win in the giveaway, you need to satisfy the terms and conditions of YouTube's terms of service, as well as all applicable laws, rules, regulations, etc. So for example, if you're in Canada, you need to answer a mathematical skill testing question. It's required by law. Comment from live stream. Yes. So any comment that's not obvious spam would be considered, as long as you're not my mom or my boss, etc., and you're otherwise qualified. So I will do the random selection towards the end of the live stream, either on the last day or very close to it. And then I will notify the winners through YouTube if possible. I might at them somehow, or if they have a YouTube channel, I'll comment on their channel, or I'll find some other way. We'll figure that out when we get to that point. And the winners will get their prizes shortly after with regular shipping delays. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Yeah, I always like to help other creators, and I wish you all the success with your channel. is you only shipping to Canada due to Donald Trump's tariffs. So shipping to Canada should not be an issue. I have shipped to addresses within Canada before. I have not shipped to the US before, so I'm not sure how that would work. So I would, if the winner is in the US, what I would do is I would just try to calculate the shipping and see if I can send it anyway. But then on the receiver side, they might need to pay some tariffs. And if it's the polybag, what I understand is that it's anywhere between 10 and 25% tariff. So for this set, the polybag, it's around $5 US. So the tariff would only be $1 or $2. I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference. For a larger set like this one, which is valued at around $30 US, the tariff might be anywhere between 5 and 10, depending on how they count. And I really don't know the details of how they do that calculation. So you would have to check with your like local authorities to find that out. Day 5 of the live build. Keep it up, monsieur. Merci, merci. Yeah, this has been a fun 5 days. There were moments where I really had to rack my brain to figure out how to put this stuff together, but it's really one of those fun challenges. I have a feeling that I need more black pieces here, but I don't see any in the bag. So maybe it could be dark blue that looks like black, just because they're very similar. That could be one explanation. Or maybe this piece should not be used here. Yeah, actually, this piece should not be used here. I don't know about this either. Does this fit directly? Yes, it does. Okay. All right, so now I know that I'm gonna need to use these somewhere around here. Probably like this. Or I think it's more like this. Yeah, then it would be symmetrical with this side. Yeah, this would be my guess. This music is very similar to the original Star Wars music. If any of you have watched the movies, then you probably know that. There's gotta be like one piece here, but I don't know what it is. So it's either the blue or the green, or maybe one of these. Basically, the one that we don't need is the one that we'll plug there. Do you know anywhere that I can buy a replica of King Arthur's steel plate gauntlets as seen in Monty Python, or ones that look quite similar to them? That's a good question. Unfortunately, I do not know the answer. It looks like your chat might be broken. You might want to leave the live stream and rejoin, because at least on my side I see your same question appear 10 times or so. But yeah, I do not know the answer to that question. So by looking at this assembly from this side, we can kind of see that there's going to be like bricks placed in these positions. At least on this side. But then here we don't really have a way to attach this. It would have to be in the middle. Yeah, I don't know about that. And then we still have these bricks and these, this, and this. I'm willing to bet that this is actually this piece right here. I don't know that for sure, but I'm willing to bet that. Someone spammed the same question over and over. Yeah, I do see that there's someone who's asking the same question again and again. I don't know if that was intentional or a network issue or their app bugged out, so I don't want to assume bad intent. If it was like trying to sell me Bitcoin or something like that, then I would act differently. But they seem to have stopped now. So I'm guessing this goes here, or something like that. Or actually, and this would go somewhere like that. I think I'll just take an executive decision and use this piece over here. If it turns out I'm wrong, I do have other copies of this piece if I really need it. But then all of these are going to be held by only one stud. I don't see any other alternative. That looks like this is how it's going to be. And this whole thing gets attached here. This fits within this assembly. With this piece likely going here, but I'm not sure. But I might need this elsewhere, so this won't fit here. So it cannot be this piece. I think I'll just leave it like this for now and see if this works. No, this actually will not work like this. What about this? Okay, it fits, but it's not really held together very well. That's where this piece comes into play. If I'm doing this right, then this should go here. And there's some green piece here. How do you know where to put the pieces? Hidden instruction manual. So I'm building this actually without the instructions, and what I'm doing is I'm referring to the 3D view that's available online, and with that I'm able to see each building phase without looking at the specific steps. This piece does not hold on very well. Does not have lots of clutch power. Sorry about the earlier spammings, I just wanted to test you. Well, I'm not in school, my man. There's no reason to test me or to test the algorithm with lots of the same comment. Because, like, if people get annoyed with the same message being repeated, and there's at least one person who's saying that this is spam, then I might have to ban. And I don't like to ban people, so please no more spamming from now on. Won't happen again. What's the giveaway? So the giveaway, there's going to be at least 3 giveaways, and that is these 3 polybags right here, all from Lego Star Wars. This one is from this year, and these 2 are from previous years. And I built all of them without the instructions on my channel. You can check out those videos. So I'll be giving away these for sure to eligible people who commented on in the live chats. And then if we can get to 1,000 subscribers, then that will convince me to give away this gift with purchase as well, which came with this. So if you have any friends, family, people in your Discord server or WhatsApp group that might be interested, send them my way and ask them to subscribe, and that will make it more likely that I'll be giving this away as a gift with purchase, as a giveaway prize. Because I've said for quite a long time now that I'm planning to do something special once we hit 1,000 subscribers, and I'm looking forward to do that very soon. And right now, last time I checked, we're at 989. Deleted all the spam. I can be nice sometimes. Yeah, so in the end, like, I will only count 1 message for the giveaway. If you send the same message 10 times, that will not increase your chances, because I explicitly do not want to encourage people to just send lots of messages. I still think we need to put this here, but I don't know how we're going to attach it on the other side. ABD Bricks, welcome to the live stream. Thank you so much for joining. So at this point, we're pretty much done with most of bag 16. When it comes to the build, there's a few pieces we still need to figure out, minus the extra pieces. So this piece we don't need to worry about. Same thing with this piece, same thing with this piece and this piece. Lego usually gives us extras of one of these small pieces in each bag. So we can just ignore these, and these mostly, like, we can figure out where they go. And now the challenge is, how do we fit this onto the main assembly? So hopefully I can do that in one try or two tries. Again, this piece just loves to fall off, so really I think I need to attach this first. Can you turn the camera so I can get a visual on what you were talking about with the build, just for a second? Yeah, so what I was referring to earlier about the 3D view is that you can look at it from all the different angles. So I was looking at it primarily from this side to see how to build this. But if you turn it around, you can kind of see it from above and from this side just a little bit. And that helps understand, that helps explain what goes on behind the scenes. If you're really clever about it, you go from here and maybe from down underneath as well, you're able to kind of glimpse how the thing is put together. Is it 100%? So what I do know is that anything that's on the surface is going to be very accurate or very close to being accurate. But anything that's inside, I might be off by one or two studs. I might exchange pieces. So for example, there might be this next to this, but I might do them the other way around, but the final result is going to be the same. Because once this thing is built, no one's going to care what's on the inside as long as it works. So as long as the mechanisms like this work, then in my opinion, it's fine. Okay, so this fits nicely. You should do another stream and take it apart to do it again. I don't know about that. I plan on, well, eventually I'm going to disassemble this and convert it into a custom build. I don't know when that's going to be though. And I'm moving to a different location. So if I am moving, either I'm going to shrink wrap this and just put it in lots of bubble wrap and take it with me, or if I'm really low on space, I might have to take it apart. And by that time, for accuracy's sake, nah, I think I'll just build another set. Because my goal with these builds is not to do 100% accuracy as if I built with the instructions, because in that case I could just use the instructions and get the accuracy. My goal is to get to something very similar. So if you see the box, I have the box right here. My goal is to get to something that looks like this. Actually, I have the postcard. It's a lot less, takes up a lot less space and it shows the same model. I have the postcard somewhere around here. Yeah. So my goal is to get to something that looks like this, regardless of how I get there. So as long as the outside is good and the mechanisms work. So that's what I care about personally. So, but if the inside, it's not exactly the same, like if I, the example I keep giving is if I flip these two pieces, nobody's going to notice, nobody's going to care, and I personally don't care. There are some people, not me, but there are some people, and I'm not going to mention their names, they like to do everything exactly the way that Lego mentions in the instructions. So for example, if there's a building and they have like a bird who's on like the second stud, they're like, oh, I need the birds to be right here. If you put it here, that's wrong. And it's completely messed up. But I think even Lego does not like that. Even Lego in their official product pages, they say, we're going to give you a set, you buy it, you build it following the instructions, but then you remix it and do whatever you want with it. The only limitations that Lego has as a company is that they cannot mix licensed stuff, like Jango Fett is a licensed minifigure. This is a licensed design from Disney and Star Wars. They cannot mix this with something like Ninjago or Monkey Kid, an original theme. And that's due to IP restrictions. But for me, I'm under no such restrictions. So if I wanted to, I could turn this into like a ninja vehicle and bring in Kai, Nia, Lloyd. Like I can bring an Ninjago character and put him here, and for me it's totally legal because I don't have any contract with Star Wars. But Lego cannot do this. So Lego, they need to have a clear line separating licensed versus unlicensed stuff. And even between licenses, like you cannot mix Harry Potter and Star Wars, for example. Hello, Slim Volcano 7036. What's your opinion on the young Boba figure? And Captain Nemo, I would appreciate if you don't use any adult language in the chat, just to keep it family friendly. There are people here who might be under 18, and I want to make sure that everyone feels comfortable. Okay, I'll try to remember that, Slim. As for my opinion on the Boba figure, I have not built that figure yet. I've seen pictures of it online and on the box, and I've read some articles. I try not to read too many opinions because I want to form my own opinions, but I've read some articles that were complaining about some lack of accuracy. So I think I'll reserve my final judgment when I actually build the character myself. What's the worst part of the build so far? I don't know if I would say worst. Well, worst, I'll just say this sticker. I don't like stickers at all. And this sticker, when I first applied it, I applied it upside down. I had to like peel it off and apply it again. So I did not enjoy putting on this sticker. I don't like stickers in general, but this one in particular offended me a lot. This looks cool in theory. So it's nice. This other piece here is a nice part usage. But in practice, it falls off very easily because it's held by only one stud and it's not held very securely. So this is something that annoys me a bit in terms of the build. So far, I've not finished the build, so maybe I'll change my mind by the time I'm done. This was a bit tricky to put together because you have to start inside out, and you have this thing that's kind of getting in the way. So I really wish that they would have built this in a different order. And this, I found it very personally challenging. Maybe I was very tired that day. This was yesterday. I found it very difficult to put this piece and this piece in the correct position because they're off by, I think, like half a stud, and you have to get the exact combination of pieces just right in order for them to fit. Otherwise, they're like a little bit off. More like how the UCS AT-AT legs sucked. Like, what's the hardest part? So yeah, like the most, yeah, so for me, the build, the most challenging part so far was this, even though it doesn't look like it. The wrinkles go horizontally instead of vertically. The arms are miscolored. The belt is brown and not blue. So it's bad, including the hair mold. Yeah, so I've heard some interpretations say that they use that hair to imply that it was wet because there's one scene in the movie where it's raining and he's running out in the rain in order to board this ship specifically. And so that's one possible interpretation. I don't know if I buy that or not. That's, again, it's always up for debate. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, this is the minifigure in question. So here he is in full color. And here's a larger picture of him. And a lot of people do not agree with this hairpiece. Yeah, I have not built the minifigure yet, but from what I can see, even if I don't like the hairpiece, and I will mention that when I get to that point, I'm not going to say this whole set is bad because of that one hairpiece, because the hairpiece is probably the easiest thing to replace if you really want to have a better hairpiece. Even if we assume that's true, just get a different hairpiece and call it a day. And I know Lego is not always going to get these perfect. But again, I'll have to check the source material for myself. I know there's many people who have different opinions for or against something, and I try to make up my own mind instead of just copy pasting what other people say. I'm sure at least one person at Lego thought it was a good idea, so no, the set is perfect, just get another Boba figure. I'm not going to say the set is perfect. For one, there's stickers. For two, the price is... I still feel like $400 for a UCS set is a lot of money to ask these days. I know there's like $1,000 Millennium Falcon, but that one is so much larger. And even that one, like, if they adjusted its price with inflation, it would be even higher today. And I hope they don't do that. I hope they keep it at $1,000 50 Canadian, because that's already too much. Because maybe I'll try to get that set one day. It looks like I forgot to put this piece here. Can I fit this in? Get some vintage bounty hunter characters to go in the passenger seats. Yeah, I don't know how much space we're going to have for other minifigures. And this I do know from the early reviews. I did not read them in detail, but I just skimmed through like the main highlights. And I think one of the major critiques is that we actually don't get a lot of space for tons of minifigures in this set. And that's why they only included 2. I have not verified that yet, but it's something that I've heard of, at least at a glance. Also, I meant nearly perfect in build, excluding stickers. I think that's a fair claim. It's within, like, I can buy that. I have not finished the build, so I'll wait to finish the build before making a final judgment, but I have enjoyed many parts of the build so far. I've definitely had some good moments in this build. We shouldn't forget about this piece that goes here. Are you a prequel fan or original trilogy fan? So I do like the original trilogy. I think it's a classic. I'm not saying that the prequels are terrible, but I think that they did not need to go overboard with them as much as they did. But of course, everything is a product of its time. When the prequels came out for the first time, everyone hated them, and now with the sequels out, people look at the prequels a lot more fondly, ironically. And at some point, people are going to look back at the sequels more fondly compared to now, because whatever is coming out after that might not be as good. So it's always going to be a cycle like that, in my opinion, at least. And it is amazing that this franchise has lasted for as long as it has, and it has like diehard fans from all over the world, all different ages. And I read an article, and I think it's true. Most people are going to relate to the Star Wars of their childhood. So if you grew up during the prequels, you're going to enjoy the prequels. If you grew up during the original trilogy, you're going to enjoy the original trilogy, and so on. And the writer of that article predicts that by the time the people who grew up with the sequels reach our age or older, then the sequels will be appreciated a lot more than they are currently. I think this goes here. And I'm gonna need this here. I think. Yeah, it must have been wild to see Revenge of the Sith for the first time back in 2005. Like that movie, like love it or hate it, the the Revenge of the Sith movie, they made a Brickheads for it, by the way. It gave us so many memes, so many quotable lines of dialogue that even people who have nothing to do with Star Wars, they use the expressions like "you have become the very thing you have sworn to destroy," and other memes like that. So from that perspective, at least, it was a huge success. Take a seat, young Skywalker. Oh, you gotta go. Well, thank you for joining, and maybe you can come back soon. Good luck with whatever you need to deal with. So here, for example, I know that these pieces are going to be here for sure because I see them. I don't know what is going to fill the gap. I'd have to guess that. But there's not a lot of pieces left. This is going to go here. So actually now I know this tube is not going to go here because you could use this instead. You could go down. Then we can add a piece like this to improve the stability. Actually, these are on the level. And this is already there. We have this here. This goes here somehow. We're missing. Are we off by one here? I think we're off by one. Yeah, this needs to go here. And this one goes somewhere here. We do need to add one more. This should have gone somewhere in the interior details. But I don't want to take it apart just to add this because I think this is good enough. Oh, this is wrong actually. It's off by 1. Such that this piece appears here. I don't know if this is actually going to make a difference, but yeah. I'm standing here in pieces and you're having delusions of grandeur. I do wish we could keep him under control. He's quite clever, you know, for a human being. Yeah, that's always one of the interesting things to me about Star Wars and other pieces of media. How do they decide who is a human being? Like, why isn't Jar Jar Binks considered a human? Because he is intelligent enough and he even was a senator at one point. And even at some point, way, way back in the 1970s, even Jabba was considered a human being. And there was like a line of dialogue that he's not of the base human genome. Yeah, even Jabba used to be a human being a long time ago. But then they changed him to like a big slug. This was already there. This is already there. This blaster is just for greebling, so it doesn't really have any functionality. Okay, I think at this point we can move on to bag 17, which I'm guessing is going to do the exact same thing on the other side. And then these extra pieces, again, we'll hold on to them if we need them. My only hope is that this is sturdy enough without these supporting pieces so that it does not fall apart. That would be a nightmare. Again, here are all the pieces that I managed to get away with not putting in the build, and so far I seem to be doing okay. Hello, little Southfields. You asked me a question, how do you get Lego set? So I got this from the Lego store. I have a Lego store that's not too far from where I live, so on release day, on May 1st, I went there and I bought this set. I am not sponsored, at least not right now, so I had to buy the set with my own money. Everything that is somewhat human is a derivative made by the blank in space of the real answer, which I have forgotten. Yeah, at one point during the prequels, they changed the canon and they said now there's these midi-chlorian things that are the cause of the Force somehow, or they're the reason why Anakin was very strong in the ways of the Force. Okay, a little sub. Thank you so much. So that would take us to 990, if my calculations are correct. Only 10 more to get to 1,000 subscribers and to get to the chance of winning this Camino training facility. Okay, let's do bag 17. I see the same pieces, so it's likely going to be very, very similar. Any human-like species in Star Wars is evolved and bred from humans. Yeah, but I guess to me the fundamental definition of a human being is someone who has intelligence. So if you have a character that looks like a slug, but he has human intelligence, then in my mind, he's at least some form of human. But yeah, I understand that these things can be debatable. Looks like we're going to have to apply more stickers to curved parts. But at least these don't look too bad. So the way these stickers are done, we cannot get it wrong. Actually, we can get it wrong. So we have to make sure to apply such that the yellow is on the inside, towards the inside. And these are stickers I would consider optional. I will apply them, but if I don't apply these stickers, then I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, to be honest. I'll start with these smaller ones first, actually. So as long as we do not apply the same thing in the same direction, we should be okay. I'll try to make the yellow appear as close as possible to here because there's going to be a gap. I did not know you have no instructions. So there were instructions that came in the set. So like in the box, there were instructions. I'm just choosing not to use them. So here I'm going to try to minimize the gap by doing this and hopefully applying the sticker in a way that's not too crooked. Okay, so then the next sticker has to be with the yellow thing pointing this way. So let's think about this. We want to have yellow pointing this way, and we want to apply it like this. That means I need to tear apart the sticker from this side. There are other companies other than Lego that no longer use stickers, but they're also way cheaper than Lego. So if those Chinese companies can do it, then I would expect Lego to be able to do the same, especially for deluxe sets like this one. Okay, now these are going to be a little bit more annoying, these large pieces. But again, same idea. We're going to apply one of them where the yellow is going to be on this side. I'm going to apply it from here. You can get authentic pad printed pieces when the set get older. Yeah, this sticker is really annoying. I really wish they would have printed this, or just, I don't think this is like a super necessary detail, personally. Yeah, it's very hard to apply a sticker like this properly. I'm hoping there's not going to be an air bubble. Oh, a little bit. Okay, that was not too bad. Cuticle clippers work for sticker application. Okay, so now the next one has to be on the far side. So we need to have it like this. I want to apply it going in this direction. Also, soapy water to remove residue. Yeah, I've seen some people do that, but it's like so much trouble. Oh, it got pulled up. If it was like a budget set, if it was like a $30 set and they had like a limited budget, and I understand now like things are getting very expensive, then I could understand it. I would not like it, but I could understand if it was like for a budget set that they chose to use stickers, even though that would not be my personal preference. But for something where you say Ultimate Collector Series on the box, you're basically saying that this is the very best that Lego has to offer. I don't think they should be requiring us to put stickers on an Ultimate Collector Series set. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, this was not cheap to buy. This cost like $430, including the taxes in Canada. That's a lot of money. And then you have companies that sell stuff like this with at half the price, and there's no stickers, and they include lighting as well. So, like, I don't know if you've seen companies like Fantasy, and there are a few others. With those companies, you have like a modular building that Lego would sell you for $300. They would sell you the same thing for $150, and there's no stickers, and you get a lighting kit. So you just power it through USB and it just lights up. Yeah, I think it's just a question of really insisting to Lego over and over again through their customer feedback form, online, in person, at the Lego store, uh, on social media, everywhere you go, and through the Lego Ambassador Network to basically tell them, hey, no more stickers, especially for these premium 18 plus sets. This is marketed as a set towards adults, not a cheap set for kids. So I really wish that they get the message. I do think lots of Lego designers, people who work for Lego, have the right intentions. Like, there are some Lego designers that never use stickers out of principle, and I respect their position. Ryan, who ran our productions, needs to run the entirety of Lego company. Yeah, Ryan is a controversial figure to say the least. He's an interesting character. He used to be in the Lego Ambassador Network until he no longer was. And so now a lot of people are afraid to associate with him. It's not the designers, it's the forced principles. Yeah, so the designers, they design the sets, but they don't set the budgets. Why controversial? So controversial, it's not my personal opinion, it's just anything where a lot of people debate on it, it becomes controversial by nature. That doesn't mean that he's necessarily good or necessarily bad. It's just that he's someone who's a lot more debatable than someone like Jang, for example, especially the old Jang. Of course, people are currently in the Lego Ambassador Network. They cannot comment on the situation. So if you talk to them, they might tell you off the record what they really think, but then they have certain requirements that they have to follow. Yeah, I don't know if he would be the best possible leader for Lego. He did have some significant disagreements with them, and that's why they ended their relationship with him. So you have to understand that Lego has to balance a bunch of priorities, including customers, IP license holders like Disney, Star Wars, etc., their shareholders. I'm not saying I'm going to blindly defend Lego all the time, but there's a reason why they cut ties with him. And I'm not against the guy entirely. It's just that I wish that he handled the situation a little bit differently. Like we spent how many years? 2 years, 3 years debating on just the helmet holes. Yeah, ultimately, that's your opinion, and I respect that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I have to agree. Yeah, this is the part of the build that gets a little bit repetitive because we're redoing the same thing that we just did before. Just mirrored. But honestly, I'll take this any day over the Eiffel Tower. Oh, I noticed that the music has stopped, so I'll just restart it. After the ads, of course. Yeah, the Star Wars background music, and this is not official Star Wars music due to copyright reasons, but it's very close to it. And it is by the YouTuber of the name Luis Humanoid 2. So I'm giving him a shout out. I really appreciate that he has given us this music. Yeah, the Eiffel Tower, I don't think it's technically difficult to build. Like it does have some interesting building techniques. I've seen a review of it, and it is hollow, so you will be able to see most of what it's like, but then you have to build the same thing 4 times again and again and again, and it has, like, if I remember correctly, it's around 10,000 pieces. Oh, I have a bug, a physical bug. That's annoying. Try to see if I can get it. Ooh. Ooh, I caught it. Oh, that's annoying. I will watch your career with great interest. Huh. Yeah, thank you. It's not difficult, just repetitive and long. It took me only 3 days, but for a less seasoned builder, it might take much, much longer. Yeah, I don't know if I would want to do the giant Eiffel Tower at that scale. There was a smaller one that came out a few years ago, and I think if they do it at that scale, I would be a lot more interested in it. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people would really want to spend so much money on just one giant Eiffel Tower like that. Because for the same amount, you can get like 3 of these or something like that. So I'd much rather have 3 Ultimate Collector Series ships or 3 modular buildings instead of one big Eiffel Tower. It comes apart in 4 different sections for moving. Yeah, that's the Eiffel Tower for me is something that you would want to have in a Lego store, just to attract people to the store and just like grab their attention. I don't think I'm gonna ever buy it personally. It's just too big. It's far easier to move than the Venator have it also. Yeah, I also wish that they would give us a smaller scale Venator. The Ultimate Collector series, I've seen that one when it came out. It's they see so massive you need like 2 hands to lift it, and it's cool. I love the design. It's really amazing. But at the same time, I wish Lego would give us more options for people who want that ship but don't have the space for the Ultimate Collector series version. Just like what they do with the Millennium Falcon. Like they give you the $1,000 version, and then there's a version for $200. There's another MIDI scale version that's about this size, and I actually built that one without the instructions as well. Now recently they give us a poly bag, so you can buy this for $5 at various retailers or get it for free from lego.com. So for these most popular ships, I really think that they should always do that. Like right now, we don't have any AT-AT currently on store shelves. Maybe you have. So there was the giant UCS one, but that retired recently. There's also a play scale version that also retired, and there's supposed to be one coming out this year or next year, but only one. Beautiful in a star backdrop, not smaller, not bigger. Has 3 sections that come apart and leave the scene look natural. Just view a picture and imagine it coming apart. I'm guessing you're still referring to the Eiffel Tower, right? And fun fact about the actual Eiffel Tower in France, or France as some people say, oh, the Venator. Three sections that come apart and leave a scene look natural. Yeah, I've watched 1 or 2 reviews on the Venator back when it came out. I think it was last year or the year before. But I don't remember like that particular detail. Like the detail of the Venator coming apart for transport. It doesn't come apart, but I was saying it should have. Oh, okay. Now I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I do agree with you there. And even this thing, which is smaller, I wish it would be like built-in modules that are very easily removable, like what they did with the cat. I don't know if you've seen my build of the Lego Ideas cat without the instructions, but that thing is beautiful. It has like, it's basically like a box, and then you attach stuff to it from all sides, like this side, top, bottom, and front and the back. Like, and it looks very organic. It looks very natural and not at all like a box. So if they could do it for a cat, they could also have done the same thing here. I feel like I'm doing something wrong here. It doesn't attach. There's like this gap, a small gap. I don't know why though. Oh, it's because of the axle. How in the world are you building this without the instructions? Well, I am looking at the 3D view. So Lego does offer a 3D view of this set and of many sets. So by looking at the 3D view, I can reverse engineer it to understand how it's supposed to be built. Okay, there we go. And this goes here. I could never do that. It takes talent. Well, interestingly enough, when I first started, I could not really do this that well either. But I started with very small sets. I actually started, my very first build without the instructions was a poly bag, not this one specifically, but another poly bag. And it took me like 2 hours to build it without the instructions, despite the fact that it was very simple. But back then it was not simple for me because I was just starting out this YouTube channel. But over time, I built more and more sets without the instructions, and gradually I got used to it. So now I feel a lot more comfortable. I'm gonna actually give you a shout out on my channel. This is like next level impressive. Well, thank you so much, Lego Timmy. I really appreciate that. I'm guessing that you would be a fellow Lego YouTuber in that case. And in that case, I will also check out your channel as well. So Lego Timmy, what is your specialty or favorite theme that you like to talk about? I mostly do Lego Minecraft and fake Lego reviews on my channel. I see. Yeah, Minecraft is quite popular. It's a nice theme, and I know like my Lego Minecraft videos perform very well compared to some other themes that I do. Oops, forgot these pieces. I have a Lego Minecraft world. Oh, that's nice. In terms of Lego Minecraft, I know Cheesy. Cheesy is a big Lego YouTuber, and I really like his Minecraft content. He puts a lot of dedication into it. And I know from the previous bag that this goes here like this. And this on top of it. I'm still impressed by you building without the instructions. Thank you. If you have not tried it before, I do recommend trying it at least once. Try with a small set. Mr. Van der Linde. Well, thank you. Yeah, I guess it is a little bit crazy, but I do enjoy the challenge. Yeah, I've seen lots of people try building small sets without the instructions, and usually they're successful. Another thing I have seen, which I have not tried yet, but I would like to try someday, is to build a Lego polybag set within the polybag. So basically, imagine taking these pieces and putting them together without opening the polybag. So I have seen people do that as well. I've also seen some Lego YouTubers build Lego sets blindfolded. So like this, but you don't even see the pieces. You just feel them and put them together. That would be like a next level challenge. I would do it for fun, but as not to waste time, do it normally. Yeah, I guess everyone, for me, like a large part of my enjoyment of Lego is the build without the instructions, the build experience, and learning new techniques by figuring them out myself and kind of putting myself, I'm kind of putting myself in the shoes of the designer in some sort because I know the final result, but I don't know how to get there. So I have to think a little bit to go from just a pile of pieces to something meaningful. And I really enjoy that. But some people, they don't care about the build. They care only about the final result. So for them, with or without the instructions, they just want the final end model for display. And if they could find it like already pre-built, they would be like, you know what, give it to me pre-built, or here they give the build to someone else. So it all depends on what you personally value in Lego. I do like to display my builds, assuming I have the space for them. But some people, they don't care about display. As soon as they're done with the build, they're going to take it apart and build something else. So everyone enjoys Lego differently. And that's one of the good things about Lego. There's not one way to do it, as we learned in the Lego movie. For those of you who watched it, I will spoil it because it's been 11 years since it came out. But I won't give all the details, but essentially towards the end, we have the father. There's like a father and son. The father wants to build Lego only according to the instructions and glue the pieces together so that they can never be taken apart. And Lego usually discourages that, except for certain models that they have at the Lego store where they don't want kids to take them apart, like those giant plastic models. Whereas the kid, he wants to go into that Lego city and just play with the minifigures and just have a lot of fun. And what we learn in the Lego movie is that that's what Lego is all about. It's not just building something, gluing it together, and then just letting it sit collecting dust. That's not what Lego is about, or at least that's what the Lego company thinks it shouldn't be about. I guess that's one of the reasons why the 18 plus was very controversial. The idea of 18 plus Lego sets, when it first came out in 2020, it was very controversial because a lot of people were strongly against it, against the idea of having Lego be for adults, because for them it's like Lego must always be for kids only. But Lego decided to make 18 plus sets just like this one in order to sell them to adults who are reluctant to buy toys, but they might be convinced to buy a building set. So, interesting thing to note, on all Lego sets for kids, you see they're written on it, it's written on it building toy. But for the 18 plus sets, it's not a building toy, it is a building set. Yeah, so that's a difference. So if you're buying this as an adult, you're not going to say, oh, I bought a toy for myself. I bought a building set for myself. I personally don't care. Even before 2020, when I was an adult, but there were no 18 plus sets, I still enjoyed the Lego sets for kids and I still enjoy them to this day. So I do not hesitate to buy a Lego set, like if it's a 10 plus set or even a 6 plus set. If I really like it, if I like the minifigures or I like the build, then I'm not ashamed to build this. Horrible marketing strategy. Well, yes and no. If it was up to me personally, I would not have 18 plus sets, or maybe not anymore. I kind of get why they did it at the beginning. Like, it was a innovative idea at the time to bring people who are not into Lego back into Lego, to remind them of their childhood and tell them, hey, it's cool, you're an adult, but you can still build with Lego and it's not considered a kid's toy. But now, 5 years later, I think they should just drop the black boxes and just mark the sets according to building level difficulty. Minifigures are less on the totem pole of reason to buy the build. Comes first. Yeah, well, again, yes and no, in my personal opinion. I do think that some Lego sets, especially minifigure based sets like battle packs and collectible minifigures, like this collectible minifigure, for example, you will buy this set for the minifigure. But this, on the other hand, Ultimate Collector Series, you would buy it for the build. WSP. I'm not quite sure what WSP stands for. Needs Jango and Boba, no questions asked. So there was a time when LEGO did not include any minifigures in their Ultimate Collector Series sets in the past. I do think they should include the minifigures. I'm happy that they did. But really, UCS sets should be more about the build and less about the figures, and that is why I hope that LEGO re-releases this minifigure in a cheaper set, like a microfighter or a polybag or something like that. I'm not one of those gatekeepers who want to gatekeep minifigures behind exclusive sets. No. That reminds me of Darth Vader in Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, I think as long as Lego is honest about it, they don't say that a minifigure is going to be exclusive and then they make it non-exclusive. As long as they're honest about it from the beginning, like, we can re-release this figure, then I do think that is the right thing to do for Lego fans who cannot afford or do not want to buy such a large set just for one minifigure. That's what they did with Rex. Gatekeeping is only right in some circumstances. Well, I would think if I was in charge of Lego at that time that they made that decision, I would have just edited the instructions to say, you know what? The instructions, they used to say that he was exclusive. Let's change the instructions to say that he's no longer exclusive. This way there's no contradiction. That, to me, that's what bothered me about the whole situation. The fact that to this day, if you buy a Venator, and it will say in the instructions today, or if you go download the instructions online without having to buy the Venator itself, in the instructions it still says to this day that the Rex is exclusive, when in reality he is not, because you get the exact same figure in a microfighter. So to me, it's the inconsistency that bothers me, but I'm happy that they included the minifigure in the microfighter, because guess what? I bought the microfighter and not the Venator. And if this guy comes out in a cheaper set, then I would like to get the cheaper set and not have to buy another one of these. And same thing when it comes to future Ultimate Collector Series sets that have not come out yet. So there are rumors of a Death Star that may or may not come out later this year or maybe next year. So if that rumor is true and there is a Death Star with like so many exclusive figures, I do want to have those figures available in other cheaper sets, because not everyone is going to be able to afford a giant Ultimate Collector Series Death Star in this economy. Because after all, when you buy the Venator or the Death Star or any other UCS set, including this one, like, you're not just buying it for the figure, you're buying it for the build. If you buy the microfighter, you don't get the build. You get the figure, yes, but not the build. So really, you're paying for all this plastic right here, and not just for the figure. ruins the appeal. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna buy a $700 set just for the minifigure, then you've made that decision and you value that minifigure at $700. But I think most regular Lego customers or consumers would not think that way. I say this as someone who loves minifigures. Some people don't care at all about minifigures. Like they just throw them away or they resell them immediately because they don't care. I actually do like minifigures, but I would not spend $700 on a single minifigure personally. I forgot where these go. They go somewhere around here. Oh yeah, they go here. Most people don't do that, but instead buy the set as secondary. If the figure is good, I'll keep it. Yeah, there's an interesting secondary market where people buy and sell figures on Bricklink or eBay and things like that. Another ad. Ironically for YouTube Music. You get a lot of those ads. In some ways, this stuff is like religion. Everyone thinks a different thing is the righteous way and no others exist, but Lego is a interpreter. Yeah, and there's a C3PO quote. Yeah, ultimately do what makes you happy. So what makes me happy, what makes you happy might be two different things. As long as you're enjoying the hobby and you're not hurting anyone else, I think you could do whatever you want, basically. It's your money after all. Because that Lego is, like you said, not meant to be used on way. In one way, yeah. Yeah, there's like ultimately these are plastic pieces and we assign certain value to them based on the things that we care about, whether it's minifigures or certain licenses for franchises that we like. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's just colored ABS plastic. Is it safe to attach this? Well, not yet, because we have some stuff here that we have to take care of first. Eventually, this is going to go here. But before attaching this, we might need to do more stuff over here. What's your opinion on stealing Lego because of the price increases? Not yourself necessarily, but mostly others. I'm for it. I don't think you can justify stealing Lego in any sense because it's a luxury item. It's not a necessity for life. You're not gonna die if you don't have Lego. You could make the argument if you're starving, you have absolutely no money, you need to steal like a loaf of bread to survive. Some people make that argument, and I think it could be defensible in some cases, even in court. You could make that argument, but not with Lego. Lego is a luxury item. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. You can enjoy Lego for free just by going to the Lego store, other toy stores, and seeing what they have on display. You can buy really, really cheap sets like these poly bags that cost $5. You can get them at the dollar store. This or Ninjago or whatever theme that you like. So you can get a little slice of Lego for $5. I don't think you can justify stealing Lego at that point. And it is a crime. Like you can go to jail for a really long time if you do things like that. So please don't. I think it needs to be like this. Another option is secondhand Lego or used Lego. Oftentimes you can find used Lego for really cheap. If you look at your local Kijiji listings or eBay or Facebook Marketplace or whatever you have in your area, you can find people who are giving away Lego for free or almost free. And in many cases, it's in pretty good condition. Some people will do anything to own Lego to have that. I mean, yeah, but I think that's a bit much in my opinion. I feel like I need one more blue plate. I guess in the meantime, I'll work on these. Maybe I'm off by 1 here, I'm not sure. The thing is, as I was putting this together on the other side, I'm making a YouTube video right now. How do you pronounce your YouTube channel name? Because I want to give you a shout out. First of all, that's very sweet of you. And you can pronounce my channel name as Versatile Fun Designs. Once again, that is Versatile Fun Designs. And thanks again for the shout out. It's really appreciated. Yeah, this won't fit. So as I suspected, I'm off by 1 here. This needs to be shifted up. I think it goes like this. It's really hard to see from this angle. Is this? No, this needs to go in by 1. This goes here. I think this is how it goes. And if not, we'll take it apart and put it back together. Oh, can we? Okay, yeah, that's safe. This very likely goes here. I'm pretty sure. And then here there's no gaps. Good. Here you have this. Here we already have it. And this goes here. Okay, I think we figured it out. Leaving for a minute or two. Sure, take your time. All right. I feel like something is a little bit off here because, yeah, this keeps popping off. Oh yeah, this is the wrong angle. It should instead be pointing other way. because we're building this thing mirrored. That's much better. This goes here, finally. And we have to figure out what to do with all these pieces. Probably they go somewhere around here to connect with these. Hello, Nickman Productions. Thank you for joining the live stream. We're doing some really specific geometry right here. So notice how we're using this bracket piece and these two plates to have a smooth edge right here. We've seen this in some Speed Champions sets before. It's an interesting building technique to get that half plate offset. I'm back. Welcome back. So at this point, I'm basically done with bag 17. I just need to attach everything in place. So this goes here. It fits perfectly. Same thing on the other side. So there's a bunch of studs on the side construction here. Then comes this. Again, same thing on both sides. And this gets clipped on. And finally, we have this that fits perfectly, although we want to have the yellow sticker be on the interior, so we just take this apart and put it on this side. Yeah, that's more like it. So basically bag 17, we build this stuff right here, plus this. Next thing I'll do is I'll check bag 18 to see its size. Either I will take a break and then come back, or just finish bag 18 and call it a night. But let me think about that for a bit. This is bag 18. I see some large pieces and some plates. I don't see lots of Technic, so that's doesn't sound too complicated, but let's have a look. Know how to hide him. I don't know who you're referring to. Are you talking about Jango? Please don't ignore me. Know how to hide him. Please don't ignore me. Look at other chats. I don't know if you sent something but it was not made visible. Maybe it got filtered out by the system, or it was just not transmitted, but I can assure you, Captain Nemo, I'm not ignoring you. I can only respond to the messages that I see on my side. So whatever message you sent, I do not see it. Keep in mind that there are certain words that are filtered out. So if you use a word that is considered like on the list of words that are not allowed, then your message will not be delivered, and nobody will see it. I will not see it, and the other people will not see it. No, I do not see the message that you sent. I see previous chat messages. I'll type it again, and then see it now. I don't see any other messages in between. You might want to say what you want to say using different words. And please keep it family friendly, because there are people who might be here either now or later if they rewatch the live stream after the fact, and they might be under 18. So I want to make sure that it's appropriate for them. So one interesting piece that we do get in this bag is this flexible rubber piece. So this was used in the Lego typewriter to make the keys go basically up and down when you type on them, and we've also seen this in some vehicles as a spring mechanism. I wonder what we're going to use it for in this set. It looks like we'll be working on the back side of the ship, specifically this side right here. So I'll have to just move all the pieces. While still maintaining a separation between the large and small pieces. Okay, so we're gonna do some building over here. So we're gonna lock this in place, probably like this. I might not want to do that yet. This cannot go this way, so it has to go down like this. Which do you think would be cheaper? Buy a retired Lego set or buying the Legos? I guess you mean Lego pieces needed to make it. I think the answer to that is it depends on a case by case basis. Some retired sets, especially in the unlicensed themes, did not go up by too much. So for example, most Lego Creator 3-in-1 sets, for example, they're not super rare or super desirable because they feature generic pieces. So if you're looking for a retired Creator set, probably you could just buy it on the secondhand market, either new or used, and it's going to be about the same as the regular retail price. On the other hand, if you're looking for a licensed set, 75288, that one does, it starts with 752. I think that's Star Wars. 752 is probably Star Wars. I don't know exactly what set that is off the top of my head. For that one, probably the build, most of the build, you will be able to replicate that with your own pieces, or you buy the pieces. Lego at with Luke. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you could replicate most of that build using just regular pieces, and probably it's going to be cheaper to buy the pieces, but just keep in mind shipping and handling depending on where you're buying from. But then the minifigures, that's where if you care about the minifigures, if you want the minifigures, and you have no choice, you have to get them used either individually or you buy the whole set used. I don't know if it's worth it to buy a set like that new sealed in box at this point. One thing that I do know is that they keep recycling these sets again and again. So eventually, I'm sure Lego is going to release an AT-AT with similar minifigures. It's just a question of time. One more sticker right here. This and this look to be the same. And because this piece is symmetrical, it doesn't matter if you apply it this way or this way. It won't make any difference. Dude, we can see the instructions in the reflection of the bag. Hello. I don't know what instructions you're talking about, but I did say I am using the 3D view for this set. I've always disclosed that in all my videos and at the start of every live stream, but I'm not using the step-by-step instructions. Hello, 7learner 655. Shush, next starfish. Yeah. I don't even know if you can see, like, if you're actually saying the truth or you're just saying that, because I don't see the reflection on this bag. But I do not hide the fact that I am using the 3D view. And for the smaller sets, sometimes I do say I'm only using the box and nothing but the box. But for a giant set like this, that would be a bit unreasonable in my opinion. I'm missing a 1x2 light bluish gray tile. And there you have it, it's right here. There we go. Looks good so far. Yeah, thank you. So we're going to do something like what we did with the Lego City crane from last year, where we're going to have this gear on a friction pin next to this one on an axle, just to give it some resistance. So basically these are going to spin like this on the opposite side of this. So I'll just plug them in because I don't want to rotate the whole thing. But now this, because of that gear, like turning it, it's not gonna be easy to turn, and that's actually a good thing in this case because we want to have a bit of friction here. And this goes here. I don't see why we're doing this. I just know that we do need to do this. I don't know why. I suppose we'll find out eventually. Oh, actually, this is going to get connected to this. Okay, so maybe like there was no legal way to attach this here except by using a rubbery connection, because that would not stress the parts. But now we have to build the whole thing. Because this is stretchy, I think I can just slot this in at the end. I'll try to do that at least. More ads. And it's very hard to see the inside of this. Well, let's use up some of these yellow pieces. I just noticed that they go here along with this. That's most of the yellow pieces here. Wait, starfish, you here? Is Starfish some celebrity or something? I have no idea who next Starfish is. Am I able to do this? Yeah, on a laptop I can do this. Alright, I see. Next Starfish is a YouTuber. Interesting. I don't know if we can put this directly. Now we have a stopper. And then yes, we can because it's not attached to anything else. Whenever I find it, I guess. Yeah, we're gonna have to fill in some of these gaps, but I think this is the general shaping of it. How does this work? I think this works. Almost. When all the pieces are white, it's really hard to see the differences between them. Oh, and here's the stopper. I think this goes here. Okay, it's starting to make sense. At first I was like, no way, but now I'm like, maybe? Yeah, this is within the realm of possibility, I guess. I don't know if this is 100% correct, but it looks like it's possible at least. Now we need to fill in these gaps one way or another. As I said earlier, I don't care about the exact details of how this gets filled, as long as in the end it looks proper. When we put it here, it should match the box almost exactly, and if that's the case, then I'll be happy with it. So at least, like, in the grand scheme of things, it does fit the plot. So I'm not off by a lot in this direction or this direction. I feel like there's something that is preventing me from pushing it in. So maybe there's one or two pieces that are not quite right. Overall, this is the general idea. Now, what is blocking me? Why can't I push this all the way? There's got to be something that's blocking it. Or is it supposed to be at this angle? Maybe that is the case. Yeah, so it might actually be at an angle like this, now that I think about it. Restart the soundtrack. All right, so I just checked the stats and we are at 993 subscribers as of a few seconds ago. That means only 7 more subscribers in order for one lucky subscriber to get the Camino training facility. I think we might be able to pull it off. Oh no. Another piece got stuck. Oh, yeah, we were actually able to retrieve it. Oh, that was close. Oh, this fell off, but we can easily put it back in place. This is getting heavier each time. Oh, and something else fell off. Oh no. What fell off this time? Oh, it's the door. Is it just this? It's really hard to tell with this model when okay. I think we're okay. Yeah, that stressed me out a little bit. But essentially, this is gonna go here. I don't know if this comes before or after the rest of the assembly. Still a bunch of pieces left to go, but overall I think the main idea is there. It's gonna be something like this, and then this hinges because this is gonna be at a slight angle. I still don't see where we use this part or this part yet. Apparently there's gonna be something like this. And then this is somehow attached to it. This goes here, allegedly. It says that it goes up here. find a bit helpful. That's what it looks like. Can I pull this out? Oh yeah. Turns out it's actually not this piece, but this one. Hopefully that will make it a little bit more sturdy. Yeah, this should help. Okay, this fits within the grid. So I'm more convinced that this is the solution now. And this is gonna somehow attach here and fill in the gaps, obviously, but it's gonna more or less look something like this. Yeah, this is the general idea of what we're going for here. Just need to fill in the gaps and make this all look nice. I love the process of elimination. Now that eventually this will go here, so I need a long piece to fill this part. I don't have one. And I would have imagined that they would have used a long plate here and not just a bunch of these. Maybe there's more to it than I think, which is usually the case. Hard to see what's going on over here. I know that this piece is going to be involved. I'm just going to mute the music for a moment because I'm hearing something. It looks like a moth has found itself to my light somehow. It's that time of year where bugs start to spread everywhere. So I'll have to take care of that at some point. This one would go here in theory. And if we put this here, this can go here, I think. so that we are left with this has to go either this way. Yeah, it must go this way because we have this piece for greebling that is attached like so. There's no other way that we could do it except this way. If I did my math right, then this should go here. No, I did make a mistake. This goes here, which means this has to be flipped. So possibly this goes like this or like this. I think it goes like this because we need this stud here. Yeah, and then this way, this will be able to attach here. Yeah, it's starting to come together now. And this, of course, goes here. This possibly goes here. Something like that. I think this is it for the most part. And then here at the top we have this and this. Actually, it looks like this is offset. I think like this. It's hard to know for sure, but I think this will do the trick. Are there any major gaps? There are a few. Yeah, I'd want to cover this and this. And this naturally, I think, would appear here. I don't know where this goes, but we'll figure it out if we need to somehow. And we have some greebling. All right, so bag 18 builds this part of the starfighter, basically this thing on the side, and it's going to get plugged in right here. But before I do that, I think it would be a good idea to build bag 19, which is mirrored, just to have this as a reference. And then I'll attach both at the same time using this to basically insert this through this piece right here, as well as this to lock it in place. And then there's going to be something else to lock it in place from the back. And it's using this just to have it at the proper position without having any illegal connection. I believe that's why the designer did that. So yeah, I was hoping to do more building today, but I do have a certain place I need to be tomorrow, so I think I'll call it a night for now. If you have any final thoughts, you want to leave them in the chat, or if you have not yet said anything, you've been silently watching, and you want to participate in the giveaway, now would be a good time to leave a final message. I'll give people maybe 10-15 seconds, and then we'll basically wrap it up and call it a night. And I guess just before we wrap up, let's take a look at everything. So this is bag 18, which we just built. And here's the rest of the Starship. So we built today bags 16 and 17, building this side and this side are pretty much identical but mirrored. We built this and we added these stickers, which are not that bad, I guess. But I would consider these stickers to be optional. And we added a little bit of detail here at the back as part of bag 18, along with this. So yeah, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you have not already. And I'll see you in the next one. And good luck with the giveaway. And if you don't know how the giveaway works, rewind back to the beginning of this live stream where I do explain it briefly. So thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.